In today's hyperpolarized America, truth isn't just debated, it's weaponized. In a stunning moment that lit up social media, Karoline Leavitt, White House press secretary under President Trump's new term, confronted a CNN reporter with a fiery rebuke that left many stunned. Was it a media takedown or a calculated move in the Trump administration's war against wokeness? What started as a routine briefing quickly evolved into a battle over narrative, power, and who truly speaks for the American people. And beneath it all, one burning question remains. Is the mainstream media reporting facts or playing politics? Let's dig into the full exchange, the policy backdrop that led to this dramatic confrontation, and the broader implications for the upcoming 2025 political storm. Let us know what city you're watching from. Join us on this journey. Standing confidently at the White House podium, Karoline Leavitt didn't mince words. "It's very easy to speak truth from this podium," she began, her tone calm but pointed, "when you have a president who is implementing policies wildly popular with the American people." The message was clear. President Trump's new term wouldn't just be a continuation, it would be a correction. What followed was a pointed reminder to the press corps. Truth must be a shared responsibility. Leavitt accused major legacy media outlets of pushing misinformation about President Trump and his family during his previous term. Her challenge wasn't just rhetorical. "I will hold myself to the truth," she said, "and I expect everyone in this room to do the same." It was a direct shot at what Trump's base often calls the fake news media. But this wasn't just media theater, it was also a calculated effort to reset the tone. The new Trump administration, facing both lingering skepticism and hardened opposition, seemed to be drawing clear battle lines. Defend truth, but define it on their terms. As reporters pressed her on funding decisions, particularly a sweeping pause on certain federal grants, Leavitt remained unshaken. "This is not a blanket pause," she clarified. "Social Security, Medicare, and food assistance, safe. What's not safe? Funding for programs the administration labeled as illegal DEI initiatives, Green New Deal scams, and transgender ideology across federal agencies. Whether Americans view this as fiscal responsibility or cultural warfare depends largely on which political tribe they belong to. But make no mistake, Leavitt's words signaled that President Trump is not just back in office, he's back on the offensive." As the room quieted for a moment, one reporter raised a concern about the chilling effect of the administration's stance on media and education. "Is this a return to censorship?" they asked. Leavitt responded swiftly. "What this administration refuses to do," she emphasized, "is fund propaganda disguised as education." She cited recent revelations of federally funded workshops in public universities where students were allegedly taught to question the legitimacy of the U.S. Constitution and label traditional values as systemically oppressive. "This isn't about free speech," she continued. "It's about ensuring taxpayer money isn't weaponized against the very foundation of this country." Her words echoed recent political debates raging across the country, particularly in swing states like Arizona and Michigan, where parental rights and school curricula have become hot-button issues. By linking education funding to national identity and constitutional respect, the Trump administration is clearly signaling its next cultural battleground: the classroom. She further explained the reasoning behind the pause. It was about accountability. A newly launched Department of Government Efficiency, DOE, would work alongside the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, to scrutinize every federal dollar. According to Leavitt, it was President Trump's mandate to ensure not a cent was wasted on what his administration deemed non-essential and ideologically driven initiatives. When challenged about the legality of bypassing congressional oversight, Leavitt stood her ground. She cited the legal backing of the White House counsel's office and pointed to precedent, including a 2020 Supreme Court case. "The president has executive authority," she insisted, adding that lawsuits would be met with full confidence. As questions mounted about the firing of inspectors general and DOJ prosecutors who had investigated Trump, Leavitt framed the actions as within executive rights. "He is the head of the executive branch," she stated. "He has the authority to make personnel decisions in accordance with his constitutional powers." We're just getting started. If you found this perspective thought-provoking, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with others curious about the future of American politics, and subscribe to help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Let's grow this independent voice together. The briefing intensified when reporters questioned a sudden freeze on funding that appeared to impact organizations like Head Start, veterans programs, and Medicaid providers. Leavitt pushed back hard. There is no uncertainty in this building, she asserted. Only in this room, among the media. She doubled down on clarifying that individual assistance programs were untouched. If you receive Social Security, Medicare, food stamps, you will continue to receive them, she emphasized, speaking directly to the American public watching at home. In a particularly heated moment, Leavitt revealed that $37 million was nearly sent to the World Health Organization, a decision swiftly halted by executive order. Another $50 million, she claimed, was poised to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer dollars, she snapped. Another reporter challenged Leavitt on the administration's ongoing dispute with major tech companies. With X and Meta under increasing scrutiny from the Trump White House, the question was raised, is the administration pressuring platforms to silence critics? Leavitt responded with composure. We're not silencing critics, she said. We're asking for accountability from billion-dollar platforms that have in the past colluded with federal agencies to censor political speech. She referenced the controversial 2020 revelations about FBI communications with social media giants during the last election cycle. This administration believes in free speech, but not in monopolies deciding what truth is, she concluded. Her statement comes amid growing support from conservative lawmakers to reclassify social media companies as common carriers, subject to federal neutrality rules, thus preventing them from selective censorship. With Elon Musk openly siding with the Trump administration on transparency and content moderation, this alliance could redefine the digital battleground heading into the 2026 midterms. While the press sought a list of affected agencies, Leavitt reiterated that the process was ongoing. Each agency has a direct line to OMB. If a program aligns with the president's agenda, it will be reviewed. When asked whether this pause was a challenge to congressional authority, Leavitt was unequivocal. Absolutely not, she said. This is about making sure every federal dollar reflects the will of the American people. The conversation then turned international. A reporter brought up the situation with Colombia, asking whether Trump's stance reflected global respect. Leavitt agreed. Peace through strength is back, she affirmed. Illegal immigration will not be tolerated. And yes, Colombia has now complied with repatriation demands. Deportations, too, were a hot topic. Would pro-Palestinian students be expelled under a new executive order? Leavitt clarified that only those who violated immigration laws would be subject to removal, but she praised ICE agents, saying they felt empowered under the Trump administration to carry out their duties without fear. We want to hear from you. Do you believe the media is holding itself accountable? Is the Trump administration taking bold steps or overstepping? Drop your thoughts in the comments and help build a community where truth isn't filtered through partisanship. Don't forget to subscribe for more unfiltered political breakdowns. In a moment that encapsulated the nation's fractured media landscape, Karoline Leavitt stood as both spokesperson and strategist, fighting not only for President Trump's agenda, but for a broader ideological realignment. The press room became a battlefield, with Leavitt firing rhetorical shots against what the administration sees as systemic media bias. Whether one sees her as a truth teller or a propagandist depends entirely on where you stand in America's ongoing culture war. But one thing is clear, with Trump back in the White House, the days of quiet governance are over. As 2025 unfolds, Americans are left to choose their truth and their champions. And as the media, the administration, and the public continue this uneasy dance, one question looms larger than ever. Who really gets to control the story? Welcome to the next chapter of America's political saga.